granite concrete countertops. So I'm gonna back up and do tile, river rock tile, similar to this, except maybe a light gray, kind of like the countertop would have been. And I'm gonna start with this OSB. Let's take one more look at what I've been living with for a year. This is flooring that I just put down, like over here. I just put it right down on top of that. Over here I had to add this wood because it was caving in or something. Anyway, and then I got the same thing over here where I added some wood there. Well, it was meant to be temporary because I was going to do those concrete counters. Like right here, you can see where these seams are starting to expand. Anyway, it is just time, and I'm so excited to get them off. Okay, so here is my sink portion of the countertop, and I have marked it off. I used one of my dipping bowls to mark a rounded corner here. I want a little bit of a radius on that corner, just so it'll look nice while I'm waiting to figure out how to do the tile. Next will come the cutting. Now I do want to, ooh, goodness. This side is smoother than the other side. There is a smooth side and a rough side. I fully intend to prime this and paint it with some really good paint so that it will reduce the amount of splintering. There, I just got another one. That's why I want to cut the hole first so that I can deal with the edge of the cutout. Okay, here goes nothing. Switch out to my roto zip, and it is just at the right height, and found this nice wood rasp in my things, and I'm it to smooth these corners down. And then I have this is a router bit that I'm using with my RotoZip tool. I had to change collets here, and I've got my table level right at the edge of that curve. and this turns, and I will put it in here and we will round these edges off. And I stopped at the corner. So I'm going to do the rest of these now. Okay, I've got all this lined up here. My board is not quite straight, but that isn't really going to make any difference because it's just a support board. And as long as I don't have it sticking out on this side, it'll be okay. I'm finding that this material is a lot harder than I thought. So it does tend to move as I screw it in. In other words, it goes into the real wood better than the fake wood. Okay, now I'm just going to overlap this right here. And I've got some pilot holes drilled. And that is that. Now, just to get ready to paint. Okay, I'm all ready to paint now. I'm going to be using this Bullseye multi-purpose primer and sealer that I've had laying around for a while. I think it will work just fine. For my top coat, this is a mist tint I got from Lowe's. It's $9. I think he said it was normally a $40 can of paint. So I like to paint with this. It's really easy to clean up as opposed to a roller. I think it works a whole lot faster than a brush. But I do have a brush to clean up my mess with. Every drop of that quart of paint. I wanted to make sure that I got it in all the little cracks of this cracky wood, and there's more out there. Next, I think I'm going to give it a light sanding and go on to paint the other. Well, it is always something, isn't it? So now I've got all this fixed, and I'm realizing that my cabinets are too low for me to get the back of that up over my high faucet. Bummer. I don't know if it's worth taking the faucet loose just to move that back, or if the better option would be to cut it on either side and then put the piece back in later, since, you know, this is not a permanent thing and it won't matter once it's underneath tile work. Okay, here's what I settled for. And I'm just going to take a screw and screw that down and screw that down perfectly flush. I used the skinniest saw I had, so I used this hacksaw so I'd have less crack back there. I can fill that crack if I want to. Rock hard water putty. And it will fill the crack. And then when I take it out, it'll be okay. Here we are, all painted. I could have made that level if I had gone inside the cabinet and put a brace up between the two like I did back there in the corner. As a reminder, if you're wondering why I didn't do that with all of the pieces, there is solid wood back underneath here, and if I'd put a piece underneath it, it wouldn't have set flat. Here's my little area painted back there, and to tell the truth, I usually keep that plug back there anyway, so just cover that up. Over here, this counter was pretty straightforward. Didn't have to do anything with it. Yeah, and the backsplash back there, I did a light coat of paint just because I knew it would be a long time, but I have a very exciting artistic tile project that is coming down the road sometime. Not really sure when. Anyway, I'm very excited to have my new cabinet, and those old pieces that were on here, they are not going to waste. See, there is nothing like using scraps twice. So this is an area of my pottery studio where mud gets slung quite a bit. You can see over there in the corner how dirty that shelf is. And so it's really splattered up a lot back there. I've already done it here where I wedge clay and get clay splattered all over there. This slick surface will make it much easier for me to keep that clean if I choose to clean it. I don't know how far that's going to go, but it'll be pretty cool. All done.